Welcome back to King Josiah TV, where this channel was created to educate, promote, and inform on the kingdom of Jesus Christ. As an ambassador, I am your host, Josiah. And before we get started, guys, I want you to do me a good favor. If you're listening audibly on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please give me that follow button. If you're listening on YouTube, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. All right, guys, let's get into it.
Watch giants fall like Goliath. David, I dance. This ain't no TikTok. God told me that my steps was ordered. Walking in flip flops. Chris Rock, how they laughed at me.
Is the 10 Commandments being put back into public schools? I think his name is Jeff. His name is Jeff. Is the first name. I think he's a governor. And we're gonna pull up the article here in a second. But he's pretty much pushing to get the 10 Commandments put back into schools. Now, us as Christian believers, there's nothing about that that's bad. Having the 10 Commandments in the schools is simply giving our kids something to walk towards in a right way to right way to conduct themselves in life. But I don't want to talk it all through. I'm going to actually pull up the clip and let it play. There's actually there's a portion in here. I'm going to read the article and then play the clip. So guys, without further ado, let's get into it.
What do you make of this new law in your home state?
Well, I think given the storm season is coming up, we don't need the 10 Commandments. We need the Hail Mary. It would be, much more appropriate for what we face with here in Louisiana. I don't know which one they're going to put up. There's 10 different versions of the 10 Commandments, and our schools are so underfunded that I'm not sure half the kids even know how to read them. But it's one of the dumbest waste of time I've ever seen in my life.
The schools in Louisiana traditionally have ranked very low in the rankings of schools in America. It's gone up, I think, pre-K.
I'm gonna let homie keep talking, but where is there 10, 11 versions of the 10 Commandments? There's only one, brother. I don't know where you got these other 10 Commandments that are out there. People just they crack me up. Like, how are you opposed to putting something in front of our kids, whether they can read it or not, that shows them the correct conduct and how they should live their life and treat one another? How are you offended by that? And it's not forcing anybody's religion or anybody to even do that either.
Through 12 has gone up a little bit in recent years, but not by much.
Governor Edwards, John Bell did a great job. I mean, he got us, off the bottom, but Governor Landry is intent on putting us back on the bottom, it seems like. But I'm serious. When I look at this storm season and this summer coming ahead, it's going to be a fundamentally different country come mid-October of this year. It's going to really be bad.
Scott, I mean, is this a violation of the First Amendment's Establishment Clause, separation of church and state?
I don't know. I mean, maybe not. I mean, that's for courts to decide. I don't have a particular problem with this. If somebody wants to hang up a piece of paper in a schoolroom that says, hey, kids, don't murder, don't steal, don't lie, and respect your parents, that doesn't bother me. I'm not out here crusading for it. And I certainly don't think public school teachers should be preachers. But, these are the fundamental tenets of Western civilization. They kind of underpin, our entire criminal justice system. And look, if they're part of a historical display, if they're hanging up there next to the Constitution, the Mayflower Compact, the Declaration of Independence, I don't have a problem with it. I do think it's sort of amusing that there are people out here so enraged by this today who at the same time would love to use public schools and public libraries and other public facilities to distribute information that more matches their own agenda. So I think people are overreacting to this, and the courts are going to have to get involved and see what the interpretation of the laws are.
I mean, he's so right. I mean, listening to this clip, people are getting outraged about saying that, our kids should have something to tell. Do not steal, do not kill, do not covet something of someone else that's not yours. Why are these things so bad? Why are you so outraged? But they're pushing things into the schools, namely things pertaining to the LGBT community, and pushing their agenda and pushing what they want. So in other ideologies and things like that, they're okay with that. But anything pertaining to God, it's a bad thing. But I just want to read a little bit more on this, just so we can get some more context to it. It reads below: Louisiana public schools are now required to display the 10 Commandments in all classrooms. After Republican John Landry, that's his full name, signed the requirement into law Wednesday. The House Bill 71, approved by state lawmakers last month, mandates that a poster-sized display of the 10 Commandments with large and easy readable font be in every classroom at schools that receives state funding from kindergarten to the university level. Before the bill, Landry called it one of his favorites. If you want to respect the rule of law, you got to start from the original law given, which is from Moses, which was the 10 Commandments, Landry said. Opponents of the bill have argued the state requiring religious texts in classrooms would violate Establishment Clause of the U.S. Constitution, which states to the Congress to make no law respecting establishing of religion. Civil liberties groups swiftly vowed to challenge the law, which makes Louisiana the first in the nation to require 10 Commandments to be displayed in every classroom and receive state funding in court. So there's a lot more here, guys. I'm not going to read the whole article. But one thing I want to touch on is when they talk about the separation between church and state. I've gotten into actually a few debates with people online recently about this. The separation between church and state was not meant to protect the government from the church. It was to protect the church from the government. Because when our Puritan forefathers came over here, they were told, but when they were in England, they were told how to worship and how to praise their God. They wanted the freedom and the liberty to do that in all of the religions, to have that as well. So to say that there needs to be a separation, is that the church shouldn't be involved in government, is not right. No, the government can't be involved in the church, but it's okay for the church to be involved in government. And at the end of the day, having 10 Commandments and telling kids thou shalt not do X, Y, and Z, and the laws that we have literally in the United States, the basis of our laws are literally following what the 10 Commandments say. These are basic things. Don't steal, don't lie. These are things you can get arrested for. These are things you can go to prison for if you're killing somebody. So to me, it's not a stretch to want these. But I want to listen to an additional clip, guys. Give me just a second. We're going to pull up another clip. Actually, it was on the View. Everybody knows the View's got, some interesting viewpoints on things. And Whoopi Goldberg had some things to say. So we're going to pull up what she said. Because I got this off of Ben Shapiro's YouTube. He had like the clearest version of it that I could find. Everybody else had it all like chopped up. His is chopped up a little bit too, so I'm not gonna play it all the way through, but I'm gonna let it play for itself. He's gonna introduce it slightly, but I'm not here. No, I'm gonna just let her talk.
And it's not mentioned in the Big Ten. I'm just going to say,
no.
In the Big Ten, it is not mentioned.
The commandments?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
because I figured God was pretty clear. Here's the stuff that'll make your life better on earth. Here's the thing. Don't lie, because you don't want people lying to you. Don't mess with somebody's wife, because you're going to be mad if they're messing with yours.
Just,
the common sense stuff.
Say, thou shalt not kill. They believe that.
Yes, well, here's the thing.
And God says the law is written on everyone's heart, whether they be a believer or not believer. Those are called morals. So she's partially right. So far, she ain't gone off the deep end.
I think thou shalt not kill cannot be used as the block, because we allow wars all the time.
Yes, we do.
The crusade.
No, you idiot.
About all these things.
We allow guns.
No, you stupid person. No.
Some conversation to be had here. So you can either thou shalt not kill.
Yeah.
For
killing in the means of war and killing in the means of killing somebody that you're mad at or having a situation with are two separate things. For her to try to put that together is crazy. It's a little asinine, if you ask me.
everybody.
Yes. And everything.
And everything. Or we have to talk about all the things that you and I need to do.
Wait, so her logic is, just to get this straight, that when the Ten Commandments says thou shalt not murder, okay, the word is murder, it's not kill. As I mentioned yesterday on the show, the word in Hebrew for killing, if you were putting it in the Ten Commandments, would be lo taharog. It's a completely different word. The word in the Ten Commandments is lo tirtzach, which literally means do not murder, which is not the same thing because you can kill it in self-defense. That's not murder. She is basically saying that if you are willing to execute child rapists and murderers, then you should also be willing to excuse the killing of the unborn. Why? Because this is now a sacrament on the left. Let's be real about this. That is why they're now twisting the Bible. By the way, she's violating one of the 10 commandments right there by citing God as authority for abortion.
Actually, some scripture along top of that. It's actually from Proverbs 22:6. Let me put the scripture up on the screen. All right, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and read this. Train up a child in the way that they should go, and then when he or she is old, they will not depart from it. So what we teach at these stages in life when they're younger can make a difference in the path that they decide to go and the things that they decide to involve themselves in, depending on what we put in front of them and what we allow in their eye gates and the things that we train them the proper way. God expects us, and we are mandated to train our kids properly, to have our kids be shown the right way to live and what's the wrong way to live. So that verse, this is what this is speaking to. So guys, I feel like, when it comes to just this being said at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, at the end of the day, for us to have the 10 commandments put into schools, and it's only in Louisiana, so it's not everywhere, but I wouldn't think it's a bad thing if that was in other places, and it's not an infringement on other people's religion or their beliefs. Who can stand up and say that because we are telling kids to do as Whoopi Goldberg says, to not do basic things that are don't steal, don't covet somebody else's wife, you know what I mean? All these things. There's 10 laws in there. Respect your mother and father. These are things that are beneficial to anybody from any background, race, or gender. So to me, it's something that, across the board, it's beneficial. But some people are going to agree with that regardless. It doesn't matter which way you spin that or logically show them. But before I get you out of here, though, please go ahead and smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification button so you don't miss a single video that I post. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go and give me the follow button. Again, thank you guys for sticking along with me. I will see you next time.
But my salvation on me like it's a helmet. The way you sin is death, for send you to hell quick. Wanted to be all about me, God, I was selfish. I was rebellious, but you didn't let me